Very good afternoon to all of you. Today, 21 June 2021, is a very important day for all of us. It is International Yoga Day, and I take pleasure to welcome our Honorable Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Vikram Singh, Sir, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Prasanjeet Kumar, our respected Registrar, Dr. Jayanand, Sir, and Dr. Vandana Sehgal. She has been always very supportive. Ma'am, thank you so much. I mean, I know that you had a very busy schedule. We spoke, and on a very short notice, you accepted to be with us. It's real my honor to share the virtual screen with you. And I know ma'am has just recovered COVID, ma'am, and all family. So, ma'am, I believe that everything is good at your end also. We have Sir John Thomas Martin, a very prominent name in Italian, among the Indian NRIs. I mean, I think that in Italy, he is one of the most prominent NRI in Milan, and we shared our relation from last more than 2 decades. With this welcome note, I would like to give the little bit background about this International Yoga Day, which we thought to start. To do something in the. Samuel, please. We collaborated with Embassy of Italy for International Yoga Day. The theme for today is basically about yoga and its global outreach. How the yoga is making an impact not only in India but across the world, and its relevancy in education. Because in education, the physical education is a part of curriculum as per the UGC and all the regulation bodies, but yoga is a new addition in the curriculum, which I think it's a very good step which we need to start with. We are going to have a deliberation by all the speakers on certain point, and those certain point, other speakers are also any other point as per their wish. We are going to discuss about yoga and its global presence. We are also going to discuss about the impact of yoga on international level, about the putting up the imprint of Indian tradition and culture. We will be also discussing about yoga in education. And last but not the least, we are also going to discuss about yoga after COVID-19 pandemic. I welcome Dr. Pankaj Gupta, sir. Sir, I'm really very sorry, sir. We started because
there was some problem. Sir, namaskar. Thanks.
I welcome Dr. Pankaj Gupta. He's a chief advisor to Noida International University, and he is also professor and dean of O.P. Jindal Global University. Welcome, Dr. Pankaj Gupta, sir. So, with this, I would like to request my colleague, architect Archit, to play the message of His Excellency Ambassador of Italy. Archit, over to you, please.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for inviting me to the celebration for the International Yoga Day at the Noida International University. It's for me a great pleasure to be here. Thank you very much to Vice Chancellor Prasanjeet Kumar and architect Rajendra Kumar. I would like to wish all of you a very healthy and safe International Yoga Day this year at its 7th edition. At the Embassy of Italy in India, we cherish this day very much. In fact, over the years, we celebrated it by organizing special events. In 2019, we hosted Italy in India Yoga Day, welcoming over 200 people and the premises of the embassy for a special yoga session organized with the prestigious School of Yoga in Delhi. Last year, in the midst of the pandemic, we hosted an e-talk between 2 yogis, Mrs. Antonietta Rossi, president of Sarva Yoga International, and Shruti Jain, based in Bangalore. The session was a success. as many people were able to attend thanks to the new digital platform that have become a part of our everyday life. Italy has many excellences in the field of yoga. In fact, it gives us a pleasure in knowing that the Indian Ministry of Ayush has recognized a very high honor for the first time outside of India to an Italian institution, Sarva Yoga International. Also, in 2019, Prime Minister Modi recognized an Italian citizen, Mrs. Antonietta Rozzi, with the award for the development of yoga. It was a very important moment for Italy. Yoga in Italy has been practiced since the late 90s and has picked up in the last 10 years. In fact, the International Day of Yoga is celebrated across the country extensively now. There are over 830 recognized yoga schools in the country, and many tourists from Italy come to India to find inspiration and learn more about this important practice. I myself practice yoga since my arrival to India. We are keen in continuing working together to strengthen our ties with India, also through yoga, and will be happy to assess any possible developments that can bring our schools, yoga institution, and ultimately our countries even closer together. The Sanskrit term yoga indicates ascetic and meditative practices in the Hindu tradition. Meditation is a dimension that crosses all the great world religions and philosophical traditions. In Christianity, meditation is a form of interior prayer, Lectio Divina. The traditional mystical practice of the Bible includes 4 steps: Lectio, Contemplatio, Oratio, Meditatio. In the Islamic tradition, the concept of meditation is expressed in Arabic with the term tafakkur, which means invocation and memory. Even in Confucian philosophy, even if aimed at action, the meditative dimension is present in the exercise of the stillness of the soul is necessary to take action. So yoga is not pure physical exercise. It's a universal search for man for an introspective balance in search of non-material well-being. Yoga is not only a workout, it's a work-in. Yog Sharirik Vyayam Nahin Apitu Antarik Sadhana Hai. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Good afternoon.
Archit, you can stop the presentation. Okay. Thank you so much, and it was such a very enlightening message by Ambassador Vicenzo Luca. It's yoga is not workout; it's working. I believe that yoga is. That is the saransh of all the statement what yoga is. With this great word, after the great word of Excellency Vicenzo Luca, I would request our Honorable Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Vikram Singh, to give a word of wisdom, sir. Dr. Vikram Singh, sir.
Thank you, Architect Rajendra Kumarji. Wisdom comes from the wise, and lesser mortals like me have no claim to wisdom. So in my own small way, I will tell you what my experiences have been. I have had the good fortune of staying and being at the feet of yogic masters. It was way back on 11th September 1893 when Swami Vivekananda went to Chicago, and that is rest is history. We have come a long way, and yoga has become my greetings to all of you on International Yoga Day. Respected Sir John Thomas Martin, Dr. Vandana Sehgal ji, Dr. Pankaj Gupta ji, Dr. Prasanjeet Kumar, Dr. Jayanand ji, and our own Architect Rajendra Kumar ji, members of the faculty and all the participants. Yoga has now become an international way of life. Like any science, no religion can claim that the science, like there cannot be physics belonging to a religion, chemistry belonging to a religion, botany belonging to any religion. Similarly, yoga is universal. I will go into the Sanskrit texts like Ambassador Vicenzo Luca to explain why yoga is universal. Ya nisha sarva bhuta nam tasyam jagrat sayu in the Bhagavad Gita. When the world sleeps, the yogi is awake to keep away from all the malignant influences of tamas, that is darkness. Especially to the young friends, I would say, you are very careful when you put diesel and petrol into the petrol tanks of your two-wheelers and four-wheelers. Let us be equally conscious of the thoughts that we allow to enter our minds. Not all the nonsense that prevails in the virtual world is entitled to enter into the castles of our minds. And the Patanjali Yoga Sutra begins with Chitti Vritti Nirodhas, stilling of the mind, because we have now attained a level where digital dementia is a fearful reality. Digital dementia is here to stay with our youth, and the only way to cure it is Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami, as lucidly brought out by Vicenzo Luca, Ambassador Sir. However, yogas karmasu kaushalam, doing a thing with perfection, is yoga. There is not even a hint that one has to have a particular faith. One can be an atheist, one can be an agnostic, practice any faith on the planet, because it proclaims Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. It means and brings happiness to all, not only the human beings, not only to the plants, not only to the animal kingdom, but if there is any form of existence anywhere in the universe, on the moon, the Mars, Neptune, let there be peace there. And the Shanti mantra, Om Dev Shanti Prithvi Shanti Aushadaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti, let there be peace in all. And that is what the message about yoga is. I would also like to say, like any science, it begins with a hypothesis. Don't believe in a thing. Practice it for 30 days, 90 days. If it suits you, go ahead. Otherwise, discard it. Every word in Sanskrit has a meaning and a relevance. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Athato Bhakti Jigyasa. Athato means ab. We have done so much till now. Let us practice now the practice of yoga. Like any hypothesis, yoga builds upon itself. It doesn't expect you to believe anything. And yet, it gives you the world. Yoga is the highest form of luxury. It gives you the world. You don't say Swami Rockefeller, Swami Ambani, but you do say Swami Vivekananda. Those who have nothing but a loincloth, they become Swamis, because the world and the luxuries of the world, they have gone beyond the laws of economics, and therefore they are Swamis. And the best blessing is you become a yogi. Krishna tells Arjun, become a yogi, connect with the Almighty. And on the yoga day, as the ambassador had said lucidly, yogasans are the stepping stone. This is the first step. You are on the forest where you have just attained a level where you have reached the level of sandalwood. The entire forest where the silver mines, gold mines, platinum mines, diamonds mines are still there, and that will come by practice of meditation. Ashta Chakra Nau Dwara Ayodhya. This body is like an eight-gated Ayodhya, of which we are at the lowest gate just now. The 7 gates are there for you and all the practitioners to explore and benefit. I would give 2 examples where the pitfalls are. The first pitfall is yoga is almost free of cost. And if it is not free of cost, beware of those who tell you then guarantee samadhi in 5 lakh rupees. They are not yogis. Anyone who charges a hefty price, of course, Guru Dakshina is there, but Guru Dakshina is a flower, a pitcher of water, a fruit. That is about all. If yoga is not almost free, then it is not yoga, it is bhoga. And that is where let not commercialism enter yoga. Then it is not yoga, then it becomes bhoga. Similarly, non-acceptance of any gifts, aparigara and asteya, non-acceptance of any gift by the Guru also is a virtue of the yam and the niyama. So create clarity, generate energy, and deliver success. This is the message of yoga. Through the Gyan and Vigyan of yoga, become Mrityunjay. May God always bless your path. Happy International Yoga Day to all of you. May God always bless your path. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, we are always impressed with the deep knowledge what you have on any subject, sir. We are so blessed to have you as our mentor. I'll take two of your words, which is really, that touched my heart. Let not commercialize yoga, sir. I'm 100% agree with you. And also one point which you mentioned about Rockefeller cannot be called Swami, but yes, Vivekananda is called Swami, sir. I think that is the biggest message. What is the yoga on International Yoga Day we can give to our young generation. With this kind word of Honorable Chancellor, sir, after the kind word of Honorable Chancellor, sir, I would now like to request our Honorable Chief Advisor, Dr. Pankaj Gupta. Sir, we are so blessed to have you as our mentor and advisor, sir. I would request you, I know that, sir, you are also, practicing yoga on a very routine basis, sir. Your thought on International Yoga Day, and also the two key words about, yes, for yoga we can speak for all day, but here today we are deliberating on two key words about yoga in international perspective and yoga and education. So, Dr. Pankaj Gupta, sir.
Thank you so much, Architect Rajendra Kumar ji, and am I audible? Okay. Namaskar.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I feel very honored in the great presence and blessing of Honorable Chancellor Shri Vikram Singh, sir, who has been my big mentor for a very long time. I am very grateful to you, sir, and also the presence of other very honorable speakers, and already His Excellency Vicenzo Luca had already expressed his views, and Prasanjeet Kumar ji, Vandana, Sehgal ji, Jayanand ji, Shishir, Alok, and all my dear colleagues and dear students. So it is really great that you have invited me to share some little, 1 or 2 cents, whatever little I know. See, the yoga, as Honorable Vikram sir was sharing, is nothing to do with any religion or anything else. It is actually a science. And when you talk about going to the deep meaning of it, then you see it is having a great universal aspect to it. In India, we have been always talking about the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So in the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family. And also I feel that the effort of Honorable Prime Minister Modi, that this International Yoga Day got approved in the record time, that this was the day it was proposed. I think it took less than 2 months when it was unanimously approved by the United Nations. But we're talking about the rituals, that something is known as a yoga day. But question is that we know about many things, like everybody knows who is fat or somebody who is diabetic. They know they have to run, they have to walk. It is good for their health. But how many of them are actually doing it? So the proof of the pudding is in eating. And then when I look into my young friends, they believe more of those, physical activity, running, gymming, and they feel, something is really impacting their mind and body. I belong to Lucknow, and when I was there, I was, also a lecturer in Colvin, and then into the PCS, and many things I've done in that way. And I was also doing the judo, karate, where I reached up to the black belt. And I was also like more of an external person, that unless you do this external thing, you don't feel something great you have done. But later, after a lot of experience, then I realized that how yoga is so important. And yoga does not mean only the hatha yoga, what you talk about, the different kind of asanas. It is a way of being, how you connect with your inner world. And, you also know that at one point I was becoming a CEO, group CEO, president, vice chancellor, that kind of journey I had, earning those crores of rupees and so on. But later on, I realized after a near-death experience in my life that where I'm going is more important. Is my direction right? And secondly, when I'm going there, whether my mind is all the time restless or I'm restful. So then the whole journey started towards, leading a restful life and in the right direction. So even the Harvard Business School Dean, who has been my known person for a long time, Shrikant Dadar, he spoke about, the right doing will happen from the right being. So are you having the right being? Like if you're a being of being responsible, then the right action of being responsible will happen. And then the right having will happen on its own. So only the doing will not be happening. And in order to have the right doing, your man, chit, vritti, all kind of combination and synergy has to be there. Your heart, your hand, your, the spirit, har cheez ka man, mansa, vacha, karma, there has to be unanimity and there has to be combination there. Otherwise, what happens that you think something, you do something, and there is always a fragmented kind of behavior. So, this is swasth bhi kya hai? Swasth is swa mein sthit. That when you are sthit in your own self, then you are swasth. Because before rejoining Jindal, I was president of IHMR, which is the top university in healthcare. So we've been talking not about only the physical health, mental health, emotional health, but also the spiritual health. And we have seen that, there was so much focus on the EQ, that is emotional, firstly the IQ, then the EQ came. And now there is again a focus on a spiritual quotient. And a spiritual quotient does not mean that you're talking about religion or, any kind of that related dharma. But the dharma is, related with the swabhav and swadharma. That what you are meant to be. And accordingly, are you living that life according to that swabhav and swadharma? So what I say that if you're a fish, then you enjoy being in the water. If you're a squirrel, jump on the tree. And that is your swabhav and swadharma. And Bhagavad Gita also says that do not go for any other dharma. So dharma does not mean that you are talking about Hindu going for Muslim or Muslim talking about Christianity. It is not like that. Knowing and very carefully analyzing that what is the seed of possibility we carry within us. But many times we are into so much of abhav and prabhav, so we are not able to look into our subhav and swadharma. I'm using some words from Hindi, but I'm sure we all are Indians. We understand those words that way. And also we have seen that when you have the union within your own self, when you are also filled with self-love, then the whole life changes. Then you're not leading the life with a perspective of being a beggar. That means something you do not have, and the other person also does not have. And you're saying, you give me this. The other person says, no, you give it to me. That is how we see that many times there is a trouble either between the boss and subordinates, or even in the family also you see. But question is there, what you already have, and you are full with that. Only that you can share joyfully. And in order to do that, practice of yoga is very, very important. The Shabda Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, there are different kind of yoga. And, the Hatha Yoga is only one part of the yoga. But what the asanas do to you, because I know there are many students also here, so let me tell them that the body external muscle building is fine with the gym and other things. But asanas are derived from several postures, like the cobra. Cobra is in a different this posture. So when you do that, there are certain things within your organs which get straightened. When you do different kind of asanas, I can tell you that what is the deep science behind those asanas. And different kind of nadis are pressed, and which cannot be stimulated if you do just allopathic medicine and so on. So Vata, Kapha, and Pitta, the different three kind of composition we have in our bodies. And also we are three kind of gunas are there. That is Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna, and Sato Guna, and which are combination everywhere. And sometimes we say, oh, this guy is not good and so on. But you should imagine that at that moment, maybe there is too much of, the Tamo Guna at that stage. Maybe somebody is acting in a very egoistic manner. You can say, okay, maybe the Rajo Guna is, showing more importance at that time. So people may also change over a period of time. So better to, avoid the judgment. Recently, there was a study by Harvard School of Public Health, Teach-and School, where they said that people are living in life hardly 18%. So where are the 82% life going? it is going either in the regret of the past or anxieties about the future. So living mindfully, living in now, और एक होता ना कि जो प्राप्त है वो पर्याप्त है. So all these things I have learned so many things from Vikram sir. So I am very, very grateful to him. And then my own going around here and there in different ashrams, including Paramahansa ashram, Osho, and many places, and also spending a lot of time in silence in the Himalayas. So, and also reading all the scriptures. Now, I have developed this, center in OP Jindal University by the name of Center of Ethics, Spirituality and Mindfulness. And we will do courses, not only for, only avidya, but for the vidya and, Savidyata Vimukta. So we have courses like, the ancient wisdom, money to meaning, self-awareness and mindful leadership. So they are helping our students, to get in touch with, what is the purpose and mission of my life, what kind of subhav I have, and therefore we are able to create human beings. But better human being is only possible if you are a better human being. So because many times we talk about, अरे भाई ये उसको करना चाहिए, but we forget that पहले उसके लिए हमें बनना चाहिए उस टाइप से. So our own being is very important. हमें पुरानी कहानी याद है ना कि जब वो गांधी जी के पास there was a lady who took her son to him और बोली कि भाई ये बच्चा गुड़ बहुत खाता है. तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, bring him after 1 week, 2 week. वो कुछ बोले ना, फिर 1 week को टाल दें. In this way many weeks passed away. तो फिर उसके बाद एक दिन वो जो लेडी आती है तो उससे बच्चे को कहते हैं कि बेटा गुड़ बहुत ज्यादा खाना ठीक नहीं है, इसके बहुत सारे नुकसान होते हैं. And lady was very, surprised. बोली अगर आपको इतना ही बोलना था तो आप पहले भी बोल सकते थे, आपने इतना क्यों लटकाया? तो गांधी जी ने बोला था कि भाई उस जमाने में मैं भी बहुत गुड़ खाता था, मैंने पहले अपने ऊपर प्रैक्टिस करके खुद गुड़ खाना छोड़ा, तो मेरी बात में दम आया कि मैं बोल पाया. वही बात होती है पेरेंट के साथ भी कि जैसे आपने बच्चों को कहते हैं साहब ये करो, डू दिस, बच्चा वो डू नहीं करेगा, वो जो देख रहा है आपको डे इन इंडिया वो नहीं करेगा. सो द वैल्यूज आर कॉट नॉट टॉट. तो ये बहुत सारी बातें देखिए, मैं तो प्रोफेसर हूँ, बोलता चल जा सकता हूँ, मैं थोड़ा सा शांति हो जाता हूँ. मैं फिलहाल ये कहूंगा अपने सारे मित्रों से कि जिसने इनर जर्नी का एक बार स्वाद चख लिया उसको बहुत क्लियर से आइडिया हो जाता है कि असली क्या है और नकली क्या है. देखिए मैं आपको बताऊं फ्रैंकली, मैंने भी हाइट्स बहुत चीजों की देखी हुई है, पावर की, पैसे की, सब देखा है, लेकिन वो सारी चीजें ऐसी नकली हैं कि वो आपसे कभी भी छीनी जा सकती हैं. एक बहुत बड़ी सेक्रेटरी थी, उनसे मैं मिला, बात बड़े अपने अलग एसेंट में बात कर रही थी, मैं ये हूँ वो हूँ, ठीक है. उसी समय अचानक मतलब हम लोग को बिल्कुल चींटी कीड़े के समान समझ रही थी कि भाई एकेडमिक लीडर होंगे तो होंगे भाई. उसी समय अचानक मंत्री जी का फोन आया, एकदम उछल के अपनी कुर्सी से खड़ी हो गई, सर 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 सर. भाई अगर आप पावरफुल हो तो हर समय पावरफुल रहो, लेकिन जो एक्सटर्नल चीजें हो कभी भी छीनी जा सकती हैं, चाहे वो पोजीशन हो, पैसा हो, इवन रिलेशनशिप हो. तो अपने अंदर का जो ज्ञान है, अपने अंदर का जो प्रकाश है, उसकी तरफ अगर हम चलें तो ईच एंड एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल. एंड योगा एंड हठ योगा इज ओनली वन पार्ट. देन मैनेजिंग विद ब्रेथ, अपना प्राणायाम करना, and lot of other things are there. Meditation is there. I'm also like a heartfulness teacher. I'm also a yoga nidra teacher. तो मैं ये सब जो काम करता हूँ उसमें बहुत ज्यादा मजा आता है. If you look at my research and books, they all are in the area of finance and accounting. But इस काम में बहुत ही आनंद आता है. तो I let me stop here. And कोई अगर सवाल होंगे, कुछ होंगे तो I'm always there. And thank you once again for this great opportunity. आप सब लोगों का बहुत नमस्कार. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, you really made some very personal, nostalgic feeling for me. I'm also from Lucknow, and I also used to go to Colvin Talukadar College for cricket. And so, I mean, I remember my physical. You can say every Sunday we used to go to Colvin Talukadar for college for cricket playing and all. You mentioned about a very interesting thing about Osho and other spiritual leader. Recently, I was watching, searching for Srila series on Netflix, and then I got to know about Osho. I think such a masterpiece work what he has done, not only in India but abroad, even in America also. The Rajneesh Puram in Oregon, in USA. I think that is also connecting the one part of our theme, yoga and global outreach. I believe the Osho Rajneesh Puram in Oregon, in USA, was one of the first impression of yoga in international scenario. And I'm very sorry for all the embassy staff. I can see some of the embassy staff are also in the participant list. I'm sorry for the Hindi speech. I believe that you can please bear with us. After a very thought-provoking message by Dr. Pankaj Gupta, I would now like to request our Honorable Pro-Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Prasanjeet Gupta, sir. Sir, I mean, we are so blessed to have you as our new leader, and you are one of the recent members who have joined our NIU family, sir. And I'm very sure that, the kind of a vision what you have for our university, we will reach a new height, sir. So I would request you to give your word of wisdom on this theme of global outreach and education in context of yoga. Over to you, Vice Chancellor, sir.
My heartfelt thanks to Engineer Rajendra ji, Architect Rajendra ji, to give me the opportunity to have with you here and to share my ideas with all the dignitaries. Honorable Chief Guest in absentia of today's webinar, His Excellency Mr. Vicenzo Luca, Honorable Guest of Honor and Chancellor NIU, Dr. Vikram Singh ji, Honorable Professor Pankaj Gupta ji, Chief Advisor, Noida International University, all distinguished dignitaries, all my associates, and dear participants. It's my proud privilege to be the part of this today's webinar, where we're discussing the lifelong things which can be beneficial for all of us in such a common platform where it should be. If we talk about the importance and with regard to the aspects of the yoga, that yoga is an invaluable gift of India's ancient traditions that embodies unity of mind and body, thoughts and actions, restraints and fulfillment, harmony between man and nature, a holistic approach to health and well-being as a whole. It is not merely an exercise, but to discover the sense of the oneness within yourself, surroundings within you and the world and the nature, by changing your lifestyle and creating consciousness which can help and boost up you for the better living and well-being. Yoga is a practice which is easily accessible by anybody without any instrument, and that is a kind of few minute, 15 to 20 minutes at your home, at your own place, wherever you are, where you will be. So it's a kind of exercise without any cost. It's a kind of exercise which makes you proudly enable and more strengthy towards without any expenditure, more strengthy, more strong to face any kind of the physical, mental challenges. If we talk about that yoga benefits and empowerment, yoga always brings us towards the positivity from a negativity conceptions. It brings us to the strength from the stresses. It brings us inner strength to face any kind of mental and physical challenges. It reduced the weight and anxiety on the day-to-day working. If we look into that particular aspects of the yoga, I think so, it is moreover all deliverables and we should inculcate the few minutes of our life. We enjoy so many things in the day-to-day life, as we discuss, and we can part of that we are just surfing the internet, we are just going to Facebook, we are just going the Twitters, we are going the Instagrams, and so many things are there. If we'll take the integrity part, yoga, of your life, then I personally believe and can faith that the things can be moved ahead. In the COVID era that we are challenging and we are facing since last 1 year, that particularly I have seen an example. On 20th of April, one of my friend is a very richest man and goldsmith dealing with all over India in that particular business, was worried about it and called up me in the evening that my oxygen is going to be very down. Dear, how do I can do, because there is no hospital, there is nothing to be supportive hands for me. I asked what is the level, then he told me that my level is 88 right now. And I observing that since last 2 hours it is going to be down and down and down. Then I asked him to be immediately admit himself towards the hospital. He said that there is no hospital. Hardly we make arrangement of the primary medications, and doctor advise that you take these medicines overnight and stay at your home. If it is stable, then we'll admit you in the morning in the hospital. But he was in parallel discussion with me throughout the night, and at 2 a.m. midnight, when he just free from the medications, he thought about the yoga. He discussed me, can I do some yoga? Then I advised you can do. And I advise him that go somewhere where the people tree in surroundings of you, because people tree is where the 24 oxygen. He immediately stand up and do the inhale, exhale, yoga exercise sitting under the tree of the people, and he boost up the oxygen by 0.2 level. In the morning 4 o'clock, he observed that the oxygen level was 90. It was the tremendous development of the yoga. And he blindly faith now that nothing is more important than yoga. Yoga becomes a miracle in terms of the COVID-19. If we do the basic exercise at our home, along with the family and children in the morning, that can be very happiest session, and it's a very healthiest session to each and every family members in the coming time ahead. Dear all dignitaries, now just I want to end my words, and finally just I want to say that it would not be an exception to say that the yoga is necessary for all in every walks of life and everywhere. It is very good for our body, physical, spiritual and mental health. Satisfaction of the mind, peace and energetic feeling are realized through the only yoga in today's scenarios, which makes our valuable life stress-free and move forward with positive energy every day. Just because of these benefits and these futuristic benefits, today the initiatives has taken by India in 2014-15, the 177 countries passed a resolution to celebrate the International Yoga Day, which is a pride for us, and we should adopt a yoga practice to stay healthy and safe. Thank you once again. Happy International Yoga Day to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. I mean, it's indeed a great honor to listen to you. And you mentioned also about the story about your friend. And I can tell you, sir, we have come across a number of situations where the doctor kind of finally given up, but and the patient recovered. So yes, sir, yoga has a lot of miraculous stories. Now I will move to our respected Registrar, sir, Dr. Jayanand, sir. And I know that the kind of mental peace and all those positivity which we observe whenever we meet our Honorable Registrar, sir, Dr. Jayanand, sir. And I'm very sure that sir has been a regular practitioner of yoga. And I would request Dr. Jayanand, sir, to give his comment about yoga and its role in education and global imprint. Over to you, Dr. Jayanand, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rajendra. Respected Honorable Chancellor, Advisor sir, Vice Chancellor sir, all the luminary speakers, happy International Yoga Day. As for the theme, Yoga, Global Outreach and Education. If we are saying about the education with and the yoga, yoga is the best tool to make our education system strengthened, because as we all know, creative mind stays in the healthy body, and healthy body will be maintained by only the yoga. Chemical, pharmacological interventions or the medicine may not cure your body. Only the rejuvenating process, that is the yoga, can make your body clean and healthy. If we talk about the benefits of yoga, it may be it may be physical benefits, mental benefits, number of. If, as I'm the expert of, in fact, I'm basically from the background of medical science, so I would give you some little inputs of medical science, how we can make our body better with the intervention of the yoga practices and all. If we talk in terms of physical benefits, it increases the flexibility. If we stretch ourselves, joints and muscles will be stretched, the flexibility will be increased. We know that muscles are, the unit of muscles are the sarcomere. If the sarcomere is stretched, then the strengthen, it needs the energy. When it needs the energy, it will extract the oxygen. When it extracts the oxygen, it will proliferate. So the muscle strength automatically will improve. Then after, if it is improved, then muscle tone and the strength automatically will be improved. Similarly, respiration is the process of the muscles contraction and relaxation, where the oxygen, this time, the COVID time, we are very much, as VC sir also said that one person having the less amount of oxygen saturation level at the body, but he practiced the yoga processes and he rejuvenated the body system. But here, respiration, the exhalation and inhalation also gives the energy and increases the vitality. Maintaining the metabolic system means if you are practicing the yoga in regular manner, your metabolism, as we know, the catabolic process will be minimized and the metabolic process will be increased. When the metabolic process will be increased, definitely the body will be more vital, more strengthened, and more viable. Similarly, the yoga is the best source, best tool to reduce the weight. Now these days, people are very, as we all are having the sedentary lifestyle. In the sedentary lifestyle, we need to shed off the extra amount of calorie from the body. So if you burn out the energy from your body, one benefit is it will make all the organs in order, as well as extra amount of the energy will be shed off through the aerobic respiration that is there. So cardiocirculatory system would be improved. So if the circulation is good, automatically the infarction or the clogging of the coronary artery will not be there. So no chances of the cardiac arrest would be there. And it will, in fact, it will improve the athletic performance. If you are athlete, if you are practicing, apart from the physical other physical exercise and the sports activity, if you are practicing the yoga, that will improve the athletical performance of your activity, as well as if you come across with any injury, the injury also will be recovered, because your vitality will be improved. Automatically, the injury will be healed up very easily and very fast. So So these were the physical benefits. Mental benefits are, we all know that if we are practicing the yoga, definitely the mental calmness would be there, clearness would be there, and mental peace should be there, awareness should be there. That means the stress will be reduced. So it is not just the feeling, it is not just because of the experience. It has been quantified by the physiological parameters. If you go to the EEG parameter, that is electroencephalogram, so you will find that the waves of alpha, beta, gamma is very much means a particular healthy forms of the waveforms would be there. So your mental health would be also strong, as well as if your mental health is strong, automatically the psychological health also be benefited, also will be strong enough. You can take your decisions very mindfully. The mindfulness should be there. The awareness should be there. You will remain active throughout the day because of the psychological means improvement. And if the yoga is integrated with the spiritual things, means that is not the spiritual. In fact, suppose we are talking about the Kundalini, yoga Kundalini. So if you are practicing the Kundalini sadhana, so all the chakras, right from the Muladhara chakra to the Agya chakra, so all the 7 chakras are placed in such a way that it controls the breathing of your body. So breathing will, if you are in condition to control your breathing through the practicing of Kundalini activity, through the yoga, definitely your actions would be better. Like Muladhara will be at the place of the last place of the spine as well as the anus. So it controls the energy of the body. Similarly, then after Swadhisthana is there, where it is a sacral bone are there, pubic site is there, means end of the pubic area. So it controls the genitals. So if you can control the Swadhisthana chakra, you can control your sex desire and everything. So that is also big capacity. Similarly, the Manipura chakra. Manipura chakra is nearby, we call it mid of the stomach. So if you can control, then your Ichha Shakti will be stronger. Similarly, then after at the place of chest, mid of the chest, nearby the heart, the Anahat chakra would be there. So if you can control by your meditation, the Anahat chakra, it will give you the capacity to do the karma and all the things, the actions of hands would be there. Similarly, Vishuddha chakra, where you can control by you can control the glands over here. All the chakras, if you take all the chakras, 7 chakras, these are the plexus of nerves, where the nerve or spinal nerve, conduction would be there. If you can control, automatically nerve conduction would be proper. If the nerve conduction is the proper, definitely your actions would be better. So I would request, and in fact, this is the very good platform where we can have this kind of activity should be continued. And I congratulate the School of Architecture for conducting this, and I would request you for more. This kind of activity should be continued so that we cannot give all the information in a span of 5 minutes or 7 minutes. So definitely it should be continued, and it is very good thing. It is not about just the talking. We should practice the things. And definitely experience should be there. On the basis of practice, you will feel that your body, your activity automatically will be better. With this, thank you, everybody. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jayanand, sir. And I absolutely agree with you that we should not only talk, we should also practice also, and I believe that today's such kind of initiative on International Yoga Day, it becomes like a catalyst, and I mean, that is the main agenda of discussion today. That how far ahead we can take such kind of a initiative of yoga into our education and globally also. Now we have our very eminent speaker, Dr. Vandana Sehgal, ma'am. Ma'am, I am always very much thankful to you that you have been always very supportive, and I mean, I know you from last 2 decades, and we share the same alma mater. We come from Chandigarh University. We both are from Chandigarh Chandigarh College of Architecture, Punjab University. And I mean, ma'am had been always like a guardian. I mean, she has helped me a lot, and she has also encouraged me a lot. Ma'am is multi-talented, and I'm very much fond of your paintings, ma'am. I mean, I have seen your personal collection at your house. I mean, such a talent what you have, and I've been seeing your exhibitions also on virtual, and I've been reading about your contribution in newspaper and all. Ma'am, I would request you to give your thought on these issues about yoga and education and its global impact. Over to you, Dr. Vandana Sehgal.
Good afternoon, everybody. Eminent panelists and all the people who have tuned in today to be part of this wonderful initiative that Rajendra has initiated. And today is International Yoga Day, and I think it's apt also. So I'll stick to English. I believe a lot of people are there who understand only English. So I feel that as eminent registrar sir just said that we kind of talk a lot about it and imbibe it less in our lives. And when it comes to, I think now through this talk itself, I think we are trying to sensitize people, sensitize teachers, sensitize students, that how yoga is very crucial, to maybe excel, to even know yourself, know your being. I think that is the most important thing for any human to, actually self-discovery is more important than any other, kind of pursuit of education, and which I think somehow along the way we have forgotten. I think our institutes are so driven by marks, so driven by exams, so driven by, the curriculum, and we've got really enmeshed in the system, and we have forgotten how what is the holistic way of going ahead, and it's, I think, the right time to talk about this part of human learning, I would say, which should be incorporated as a very compulsive part of education, and if all universities take this upon themselves to not just have these sporadic events about yoga, but make it part of the curriculum. I think that is very important, and if that ensues, it will be there will be a remarkable change, not only in maybe the performance of the students, but in the character building of the students and eventually the nation. So many definitions have already been floated about yoga, and I think it is basically an amalgamation of how you look at your body, your heart, and your soul, together. So it's basically very spiritual, very holistic kind of an attitude to learning anything, to imbibing anything, to reacting to anything. So it comes as a kind of a you don't learn anything, but you kind of imbibe it as a way of life. And this may be more important in following or your karma, your whatever you have in pursuit. So I am also a absolute novice where yoga is concerned. We started doing it, recently. Beach mein, I think in life one has taken up, but mostly the hatha yoga, because as a regular person who is busy with a lot of things, so I feel that this concept of holistic yoga is important, as Pankaj sir so beautifully, I think, enumerated the way, and he actually, I think, touched upon the total, universal attitude that this practice may, incorporate, and so if one can do that, in education, I think that will be really, really amazing. I am a voracious reader, and I think so. I have read one of the books which has really impressed me a lot is Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramhans Yoganand. And I cannot claim that I understood it totally, because I really feel that I think I have read it twice, but I was thinking that I should go through it again, because I think as you go through life, you have different meanings and of various episodes that happened in his life, and sometimes it's very, very difficult. I don't know how many people have gone through it, but it is very difficult to understand his experiences, which are sometimes you feel are surreal, sometimes you feel they are very, very mysterious sometimes. So, but I think that is the path to self-realization. And I've stayed in Haridwar for a year and had the chance to meet eminent yogis, and who have just say, what do you call it, pakkad. They're not bothered about the materialistic attitude of or things in life, and so I had I think the most auspicious thing of meeting Yogi Shivanand's disciple, Chidanand, Yogi Chidanand. And, he said something so beautiful, He said that, when you look at a laborer, you are an educated person. And when you look at a laborer, you think that, my God, I wish he or she could have studied more so that he could make better use of his or her life. When I look at you people, I think the same. That, I think you are illiterate. You are illiterate in the matters of your internal learning, how to, so I feel that is, and I remember it all the time. And he says there is nothing much to do, just you have to practice the self-realization path. You have to practice it through the yoga, and there is no other way, and he says it is important for every human being to take that path. So I think not having it as part of the curriculum is kind of blasphemy. And we come from a land where I think we have had such illustrious leaders and such illustrious yogis who have shown us the path, and I think we should take some little small clue from it and maybe incorporate it in our learning practices, which can give a kind of a holistic thought, which is physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual. I think that is the most important thing. And in COVID, as we have realized that I see myself that students and sometimes teachers are going through very, very acute mental depression. And so if I always think that if there was a way to heal, it is through yoga, and then they would be able to maybe take a balanced view of the situation, take some kind of a strength from their inner being, and be more I think accept it with more equanimity. And with these words, I think I'll I just wanted to share this very, very small thing, and which I am hoping that I think in our next syllabus, it has been on my agenda, actually incorporate it in a very, very important way. Very, very important way, I think. And all universities should take it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Vandana ma'am. And I know you mentioned about a lot of emotional connects up with Haridwar or what. But let me tell you, ma'am, when we heard in the news about COVID to you and Mr. Sehgal, we heard in the TV and all, and it was for us, it was so heartening, and we were like so sad that I know I had been knowing you personally, ma'am, and I know that what kind of a charismatic personality what you and your family is. I mean, and I'm very sure that in these days about COVID, beyond this physical problem about this health, but a psychological problem, I believe that it was too much in COVID. All the people across the world, whether who were COVID survivor or who was not even, touch wood, I don't have a COVID in my family, but it is the psychological, the trauma. And I believe that in such kind of a yoga, the psychological trauma is really, it's very helpful to overcome with this psychological trauma with yoga, and that for sure. And our Honorable Registrar sir has mentioned a very technical, this definition about yoga and all those technical terms which we were not, I was not very familiar with. But yes, yoga can do miracle, as our VC sir has said. And I quote the statement, that quote unquote, yoga se hi hoga. And I think yoga can do a lot of things. Now we have our last speaker, Sir John Thomas Martin. John, if I can request you, yeah. John is a personal friend. We had been knowing each other for more than 2 decades when I was in Italy. He is one of the most prominent name in Italy, not only in a business fraternity, but also in politics. I believe that John is going to, if I am not wrong, John is going to make a very big in Italian politics. Last, I believe that you were with Prime Minister when we met in Hotel Taj, and John is also the president of many companies, Indian Import Chamber Commerce of Italy and EU. He's also he's a president in number of companies in Italy and Switzerland, and he's also the founder and CEO of Indo-European Sustainable Development. He is also advisor to Church of India. He's also a Green Accord by Vatican City Foundation. But one of the very interesting thing what he's doing these days in India, right now, by the way, John is signing from India only. He has created a personal finance for women project in Banasthali Vidyapith in Rajasthan. And I believe that such kind of initiative is very good, what John and his companies are doing. John is also very much, I can call him our John. He is Indian, he's NRI, and I don't know from how many years you are in Italy. He has roots in Allahabad. I believe that you were born in Allahabad or what? He is also married with the royal, his family is married with the royal family in Manipur. So John is very much Indian. And I believe that who better than John can discuss about yoga and its global impact in not only in Italy, but all over Europe. Over to you, John.
Thank you, Rajendra, for this wonderful opportunity, and my regards and respects to all the eminent panelists, speakers. I loved listening to all of you, and obviously gain a lot of inputs for my own expo that I'm going to do right now. But I will stick only to yoga as per the topic, global outreach and education. I am no expert of yoga, so I will not go into trying to be expert of yoga and describing the benefits of yoga and all these things. For me, as a layman who sees yoga from outside, not as yogi, but as a seeker of knowledge, my point of view, we all know that yoga as such relaxes you, gives you constant concentration, sharpness of mind, strength, health benefits, wellness, all these things we have very well understood. Now, if we talk about yoga and its global outreach, yeah, it was a wonderful initiative of the Prime Minister of India to declare the Yoga Day, International Yoga Day, and because we had something to seriously give to the world, which is a century old physical benefit exercise, which we had to share with the world. Now, the global outreach, as a lay person, for me, for Europe and Western world, yoga is not as what we Indians perceive. It is just a physical exercise and a fashion. Okay, so global outreach, very good. People are doing good yoga, but not as what we Indians think and do about yoga. For them, it is just physical exercise and a fashion. So if you meet anyone in Europe, well-known personalities, or even in Indian Bollywood also, now you will see it has become a fashion. Actors, actresses, especially the actresses, they are doing so much of yoga and advertising their own yoga sessions that they are doing. So it is more of a fashion at this moment. What yogic nature of yoga is, that is forgotten. And we have become just like a machine doing yoga. The meaning of yoga, as I perceive, is joining or yoking or creating harmony between body and soul. Now, I was told, or I read somewhere, that there was a certain leaf that the yogis used to chew in the Himalayas to keep their mind and body alert. Now, as this shrub disappeared, they created the yogic exercise to keep the brain and mind very, very alert. Now, the invention of yoga from this point of view involved a moral way of living, a moral way of thinking. Now, that moral way of living and thinking also involves a particular type of diet which one should follow. That does not mean that we should make yoga a religious practice or diet as a religious exercise. You can be vegetarian and be yogi. You can be meat eater and perform yogas. So it should not become a religious practice that only vegetarian people should practice yoga or things like that. So yoga should not be religious, nor should be completely vegetarian. Now, yoga, as per my perception, is to see the life as whole. What does that mean? Now, meaning life as a whole is the conjunction of body, soul, and mind. It should, when you do yoga, the body, mind, and soul should be unison while you perform your yogic exercises. And so it is a unitary movement. The body needs to be sensitive, to have a clear brain. Physical organism, that is the body, should be independent, intelligent, and not forced about or driven by thoughts, by desire or pressure and strains. At this stage, the body organism, if we have this, the body organism is no longer controlled, but it is shaped by thought in search of pleasure and avoidance of pain and fear. So you are no more practicing yoga if this happens. The right kind of diet makes it possible, but we, as I said earlier, we should not make diet a religion. Hence, yoga is needed, but again, let us not make it a religion. Then only one is highly intelligent, highly moral, and highly spiritual. Yoga brings harmony, skills, not only in action but also inwardly. Yoga exercises were invented to keep the glands, the nervous system, and the whole body system functioning healthy without medicines and keep it highly sensitive. Now, if we introduce yoga right from the primary education into our education system, as earlier Dr. Vandana very well made us note this, we are still in our education system following the British system. That is, we have a PT classes, physical training classes. What we teach to the children in that half an hour or 45 minutes, jumping on in the same place, doing all the physical exercises. Now, instead of the PT classes, if we introduce that 40-45 minutes of yoga, let us not impose, because children, modern children are very inquisitive. They want to know why. So you have to explain to them the reason why. The modern children are very much inclined towards personal success. Now, if you give them the reason that if you practice yoga, your mind, brain will be alert, then they will accept the idea of a yoga class and not PT session. Now, by yoga exercises, as I said earlier, it was to keep the glands and the whole nervous system and body system functioning healthy. Imagine how much money we spend when we get sick. Just imagine, anyone. Now, if we have heard the testimony of many people about the COVID. Now, during the COVID period, there was a huge strain on the government, central government, state government, and families to cure the COVID infected people. Now, had we kept the practice of yoga and taught them, this strain would have been much less, because if your whole system is functioning well, it is very difficult for any virus, any bacteria to attack your body, because body fights back all those systems. And this can be done with the right way of yoga, not exercise, but the yogic way of yoga, where you understand each exercise that you are doing. You are doing because you are understanding each posture, each yogic exercise, and not doing it just because you are forced to do an exercise. Then you won't get the benefit of yoga. The body needs to be sensitive. Otherwise, we cannot have a clear brain. Yoga keeps body supple, which we know, everybody knows that. Brain needs to have all the blood necessary it needs, and therefore right breathing. So this is what yoga teaches us: the right breathing, the right circulation of the body blood, the right circulations of our nervous system, which keeps the mind, the brain alert, the body alert to everything. Yoga is a skill. It is not the brutal force. So it has to be used as skill, not force. You don't have to show your muscles of yoga to people. You have to show your skill of yoga to people. Now, this implies effortless exercises of yoga. The
John,
teachers,
can we just conclude, if you don't mind? I believe in the interest of time, if you permit me
well, if
to...
it is time matter, then I conclude here. So
I will just
it's
request,
okay. Yeah.
John, I know that as our respected registrar sir has discussed that, we need to have a little bit more time for debate on such a very serious point. John, you have very rightly mentioned some of the point that in our school system itself, we need to start this yoga thing instead of regular PT. Like, for example, my son, he is very expert in Taekwondo, but he's not very expert in yoga. So I believe that such kind of an initiative is very important to inculcate even in the childhood time. You mentioned a very important point about giving to the world. I believe that yoga is zero is given to world by India. I believe, and that made a history in terms of scientific innovation. And I believe if yoga is going to world with by India, it's going to make a very big impact, especially as human health, so not only physical health but psychological also. You also mentioned about a very important point I would like to highlight here. Yoga is not a religion. I believe that I absolutely agree with you. Yoga is really not a religion. Yoga is a way of life. And whenever we go in Europe and we talk about the expansion of Indian culture, I had been with you a number of times in Milan, in Duomo Plaza, or in Castello. There are a lot of ISKCON, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. And that is also a kind of the religion. Hi, I'm sorry. My that I'm sorry. My connection was disconnected. My connection was disconnected from the other computer, so I'm using my colleague computer. It's basically just to conclude the discussion. John, I am very much seconding your point, and thank you so much for all the dignitaries who were with us. Dr. Vandana ma'am, and I'm so thankful that you have given a very important message that we need to also include this thing in more formal curriculum. And I'm very sure that when the leader are like you are in our education system, we are going to make a difference. Thank you so much, our Honorable Dr. Pankaj Gupta sir, for mentoring us and giving us such a very, very personal touch to this event. Thank you so much, Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, for sparing time with us. And thank you so much, Registrar sir, for being with us. And thank you so much, John, again. I know you had a lot of things to discuss with us, and you have given a lot of contribution on Indianization of West, Indianization in Europe. I request all the other dignitaries to search about him on Google. John has made a very remarkable impression on, especially in European side, on Indian business or community or culture. John is very much also connected with the Indian royal heritage. Dr. Vandana ma'am, just to update you, John is connected with also our Kazim Ali Khan sir, and with Rampur Royal family. I mean, we share a good connect. John, thank you so much for being with us. With this note, I would really thank everyone to be with us. I would thank my all colleagues who are with us. I also thank all the students who were with us throughout the day. Dr. Vikram Singh had to leave, I believe he left. And thank you again to all of you.
Rajiv, can I say one small thing if you allow me?
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Yeah. Dr. Pankaj Gupta, I mean, if you want to.
Just one small thing I want to say that actually, the kind of, the mentality, which we got after during the dependence and those things in the British Raj, that has impacted our life in a very big way, actually. That kind of the feeling of Purnata and, that is still not there. I remember when I went to the US in 2005 on a Fulbright, then in California where I was living, I found a lot of, the Goras and a lot of, the people who were there. They're saying, oh, I'm going for this Ujjayi breath and, this yoga. So, then I realized, oh my God, I never thought that was so important in India. And when I saw that they were giving so much